Welcome, everybody. Hope everybody's having a lovely day out there. Lee Murphy back to do another big board draft before the NFL Combine. Combine kicks off in 2 days, I believe, February 29th. So these are going to be some of our last drafts before we have the athletic testing numbers from some of our prospects. Now, the combine probably gets a little overstated, but it's still important in my mind. It's pretty hip today to be like, combine doesn't matter at all. I disagree with that. We do have some of the big, the big draft picks who are not going to be testing. Guys like Marvin Harrison Jr., we're not going to get those testing numbers probably. Maybe these guys will do their pro days. Maybe they won't. Someone like that who's going to go top 5 in the draft anyways, there's not a lot, he can gain. What's he going to do? Is he going to run a 4.1 40? Of course not. I believe he did 22 reps of 225 as a wideout. So grown-ass man, Marvin Harrison Jr., no shock there. Hopefully he doesn't become a Patriot for my fandom as a Bills fan. Before we jump into the draft, I think it'd be fun to look at some mock draft, just once a week. Just see what's going on out there, what names are in the news. I've said this before, but names in the past that I've gotten on for the big boards who tested well are guys like James Cook. Two years ago, he was a surprise second round pick, I believe. And then Rashee Rice last year tested real well. Some people didn't like his route running or something in college. I don't know. I don't watch college, so I don't have that bias. Bindle's here. Shout out Bindles, our first YouTube member on this channel. I haven't quite figured out how to make my premium Discord automated so that if you become a YouTube member, you can just join yourself. So what we're going to do in the meantime, a couple of you have become YouTube members to support the channel. Thank you very much for that. If you are a YouTube member, simply message me on Discord. The link to join the Discord is in the YouTube description below. And just message me with proof that you're a YouTube member, and I will manually add you to this channel where if you want more direct interaction with me, you can get it there. Also, if you are not subscribed, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. We're on our road to 5K. The last bit I want to talk about is this Thursday. Going to have on Jacob Sanderson at night, I think roughly 8 p.m. And he said, prepare for a long stream. So we're going to get Jacob's thoughts about rookies. I'm going to grill him there, and we're going to see how we can use that knowledge. All right, let me share my channel or my screen here. And my cat, of course, now wants to leave the office, so give me 1 second. All right, Puma. Not letting you back in. I'm lying. I'm a softie. I'd let him back in. Okay. So these are Daniel Jeremiah's top 50. Now, I don't know much about Daniel Jeremiah. Clearly, he works for the NFL Network or NFL. He did release one really clickbait article, to me at least, which at this time of year is to be expected. This is not beer, by the way. It is kombucha. I'm not that I'm not that unhinged, but I'm sure he does good work. So let's just read these are his prospect rankings, top 50. And for our concerns, we really only care about wide receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, running backs. Maybe, just maybe, we care a little bit about O-line if a team gets here. So, all right, Caleb Williams, 101. I agree with that. Seems pretty, I want to be on the record. There's some nonsense out there where people don't like that Caleb Williams cried after a game or painted his nails. That has absolutely 0% to do with playing football. And on this channel, we like to fade bad narratives. So that would be a narrative we love to fade. Marvin Harrison Jr., Rome Odunze, Malik Neighbors. So these are all 3 wideouts here. 3 studs, it looks like. Drake May, Jaden Daniels. There seems to be some discussion there. Brock Bowers. I've already seen on Twitter where some people are down on Brock Bowers. I'm probably going to be in on him if that is the vibe. People are going to say things like, oh, he's a rookie tight end. We already saw that's bullshit. Last year, that narrative, they're going to say things like he's a little undersized. The dude was a stud from everything I understand. So I'm going to be in on him for sure, depending on price, of course. A corner, good for him. A tackle, another tackle, an edge, a tackle, an edge, a corner. Another wideout, Brian Thomas, big explosive. Tackle, tackle, tackle. So pretty good O-line draft, which is hit or miss historically. What their drafts are. Bo Nix. When we had Davis on, he was not a fan of Bo Nix. And I mean, dude's got a nice smile, so I don't know. JJ McCarthy. Opinions seem to be all over the place for him as well. Edge, corner, O-line. Adonai Mitchell. I think this guy's fast as fuck, is my understanding. Outstanding size, toughness, and polish for the position. He is deceptively fast. Okay, so he's not fast as hell. He has surprisingly good route polish for a bigger wideout. This guy's name rocks. Kool-Aid McKinstry. Keon Coleman. Another wideout. And Troy Franklin. So, I mean, seems like a stud wide receiver class. Michael Penix Jr. I've seen mixed opinions on him. Yeah, I think Xavier is the one I was thinking of, which he's up here now. Xavier Worthy, average height, a very lean frame, extremely twitchy, and can take the top off the defense. Plays inside and outside. Overall, Worthy seems like a taller version of Hollywood Brown, which, I mean, if that's true, that's a pretty good wideout. Lad McConkey, slightly undersized, excellent speed, quickness, polish. Okay. Malachi Corley. So we got a lot of wideouts in here. Jatavian Sanders seems like the tight end 2 in the class. Davis mentioned him. Ricky Pearsall is a loose, smooth wideout with outstanding hands and toughness. And Roman Wilson is making the cut here. Compact, muscled up wideout with elite burst and explosiveness. Cool. Okay, so a lot of wideouts in here. I don't think we saw a single running back in the top 50. To my understanding, there was one stud running back who decided to go back to college. Is what it is. For the combine, 2 drills that are, I think, relatively important for skill players like running backs, like wideouts, like tight ends would be their 10-yard split for their 40-yard dash, right? We don't really care about the 40 as much. It's nice, right? But the 10-yard split is a little bit of an indication of how explosive you are. And then, hey, I don't need Bindles. You're going to have to help me out here. He gifted 5 memberships. Am I able to give those out? Does it randomly give those out? Thank you. Bindles, I need your help with that, though. I guess I need to open up my YouTube stream and see if it prompts me to do anything. But yeah, the 10-yard split. And then in college, I ran, I was an econ major. And okay. Oh, it randomly gave them. Okay, so Jonathan W., Jay Strez, Christopher Leclerc, Nick, and Kyle. You guys are all YouTube members. Shout out to Bindles. And if you guys are in the Discord and you message me, I'll get you in that premium Discord channel. Although I guess I need to fix that because it should, whatever. I'm going to get that Discord channel sorted out this week. But yeah, the other combine drill we really care about, which I've noticed a lot less athletes tend to do nowadays, is the 3-cone drill. And the 3-cone drill is like, you can basically think about that is your rough ability run routes. Last thing I want to say before we jump into this draft, I'm holding my breath over here because March 1st, so Friday, is when Florida cease and desist or whatever, or at least for Underdog, needs to halt. Now, I don't think anyone knows what's going to happen. Maybe all that happens is they take away pick'ems, and I'm going to be able to enter a draft on March 1st. Or maybe they take away the ability to draft and do pick'ems, which is obviously a disaster scenario. Maybe that happens, and then the ability to draft comes back. I read an article which basically said, it said a couple things. It said that the tribe, which the tribe is the ones who run this gambling, and they're in like cahoots with the government to make this shit all fucked up in a monopoly. But they said they don't care about fantasy games, which obviously best ball falls under fantasy games. So I don't know what's going to happen. If I'm not able to draft after March 1st, obviously I'm not going to be able to supply big board content in the immediate. And I'll have to figure something out. I'm hoping that I'm able to. So really, we're just kind of at a crossroads to see what happens. And maybe Underdog sends good news and they're like, hey, yeah, you can't do it now, but it will be turned on by April. Like, that's a scenario I could live with. If it's no, you can't draft anymore, okay, I'm going to have to travel this summer or whatever. The other thing is, I don't believe DraftKings was sent anything. So I'm pretty sure I could just do DraftKings best ball. And our friends over at Drafters, like, I guess they're a smaller site, and maybe that worked to their benefit. They were left alone. Sites like the FFPC offer best ball, they were left alone. Yeah, Ben. It's all messed up, right? Like, the priorities of people and government is all messed up. Lobbying should be unquestionably illegal, but yeah. So yeah, that is where we are on Florida. I'm trying to jump in this draft. If you would like to draft with me, I'm gonna enter on my phone. People have brought up stuff like VPNs and stuff. I would personally never advise, nor would I ever use a VPN to circumnavigate gambling restrictions, because you risk your account being shut down. You risk, if you actually win some serious money, you don't get paid, so I would really not advise that, nor is that an option for me personally. I wanted to kind of get out of Florida anyways this summer. Just, gets a good time to get out of Florida is when it is like god awful hot. So not the worst thing if that's what we have to do, but yeah, would be annoying. Would be annoying for this channel. I can't provide as steady content, of course. Have you always lived in Florida? No, I have not. I grew up in New Hampshire. Quite a different place. We need 5 more if you want to draft with me. Sites block VPNs for DFS. Yeah, so I wouldn't know. Again, that's That's above my risk tolerance to do something like that. A 603 gang. Just snowboarding. I didn't actually get out on the slopes this year. I don't think I'm going to. I did the past couple of years, but J Mike says Bindles is the sub fairy. I think after the combine is a good time to hit some drafts. Hopefully I can. All right, we're in here. It's a who's who draft. We got all this is hilarious. We got all badges except for douchebag Dave. Douchebag Dave, if you're in the chat and you would like to identify yourself, please hands up. That's not you. You're the 11 hole. Snow. I mean, what? And the winner of Best Ball Mania 5 is Douchebag Dave. Oh, man. Guess I'm not surprised D-Bag Dave does not have a badge. Maybe he'll become a legend, though. Inglex, you're next to D-Bag Dave. I pulled the 9 hole. Nice mix. I've been at the top of the draft, so. We got a CMC Tyreek start, CD Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Yeah, I don't think that's like exactly how my top 5 go, but hard to find complaints at the top of the draft. These are, a couple years ago, the names at the top were guys like a Dusty Zeke, an old Alvin Kamara, who I just full faded. Last year, I full faded Kelsey and Eckler, which for the regular season was awesome. And guys like Kelsey, it makes sense they load manage for the playoffs. Brees Hall, there's some questions there. Bijan, Amon-Ra. Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong. I'm going to take Puka, though. Young, stud, second year in the system. Cooper Kupp, another year older. I'm going to be interested what the Rams do if they add, like where they invest their draft picks. Probably on the defensive side. It's not like their offense was bad. And Kupp might just be like healthy next year, which would be quite a boon. Wilson, Kyron, Gibbs, AJ Brown. Man, AJ Brown, just no matter what he does every year, 1-2 turn guy. Sub fairy. Nico. Yeah, the top of the draft, if it's a lot, it feels a lot deeper than years past to me. Marvin Harrison Jr. Man, I guess he's the most expensive rookie wide receiver ever we've seen. You really can't go wrong with many of these names. I'm going to take JT, though. He hasn't been healthy the past 2 years, the Colts offense could take a huge leap forward. You still yeah, he's gonna have to deal with, Richardson stealing some touchdowns, but just an efficiency bet, spike week guy. Rashee Rice is kind of a tough click there. He needs to score a lot of touchdowns to pay that off. You're the man, Bindles. That's why he's a mod in my Discord. Get in there. DJ Moore, too. I mean, I guess we're expecting bigger things with DJ Moore with Caleb Williams, right? But it does depend a little bit what they do there. I'm almost always a proponent of elite quarterback. This year, I mean, it feels a little different just with like why is Justin Fields ADP in the 80s? Why is that the case? Why is Kyler Murray in the 90s? Like it just feels tough. Richardson's getting the respect he deserves. But I just feel everything will move together is my guess. If you've not at least liked the video, what are you doing? Come on, don't be a curmudgeon here. Yeah, Herbert and Trevor feel really mispriced to me personally. Now, like, I would think I would want the majority of my portfolio just to have like three quarterbacks I feel good about. However, if Josh or Hurts scores 40 points week 17, you probably need him to win actual money. So that's the game we play. You're in a K-hole. Diggs and Adams feel pretty smash. Yeah, I mean, the draft is just deeper than it's ever been. As far as like wideouts you feel good about, which allows you to detour to grab a running back or do a running back start. I could go a lot of different ways, but I am going to take ETN. We're going to take this anchor of JT at ETN, a little bit of a division stack, if you would. Wait, someone messaged me on Discord the other day. Don Michael. Shout out Don. Demo Zone. Now, Don, we gotta get this. We gotta get these colors fixed here, but like this is atrocious to the eyes. However, this is easier than Googling. So I know that I have the AFC South, and they play the East this year, and the NFC North. Although he says AFC East, but that's not the AFC East. The AFC East is the Bills division. This is the West. So I don't know. I don't know if Don's done this correctly. I might have to do this by myself. A Hurts AJ Brown stack feels pretty good. He opted not to go for the double, which is fine. Yeah, a lot of players to feel good about here. I'm gonna take McBride. Got my double running backs. One wide out. So we're gonna be weaker at wide out compared to the room. I think T. Higgins is pretty fair priced here. He was, definitely banged up. Um, and then I think Cooper Cup would have been fine for a double stack. He was definitely banged up, but like maybe that's habitual. I think White and Cook are good values there. Ken Walker seems good there. But as we know, these rooms can vary so much. Like if everyone's trying to hoard wideouts, that will push running backs down. Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I can't use that thing he used. It's not intuitive to me, so I'm fine with just Googling. And also, I'm fine with just drafting random and just hoping that we fall into some stacks until we actually know what's going on. Zay Flowers feels like a great price. I might get squeezed on wideout. You can see that I only have one wideout, which is abnormal compared to the room. Really no reason that the gap between Laporta and McBride should be this big, in my opinion. Kelsey is also drawing live to be the tight end one again, but seems unlikely. I don't know who that is. Estrada. Has this guy been causing chaos in the drafts or something? Yeah, so my assumption is that Kyler is gonna be a Cardinal, but there's some things we don't know right now for sure. What's up, my friend? Jordan Addison, that feels like a great price on. Calvin Ridley's an interesting one because I don't know. Are you sacrificing a second round pick to re-sign him if you are the Jags? Let me know what you would do there. Guys, we got to get our first share of Dalton Kincaid. Would he have made it back to me? Maybe. But yeah, we're just doing it. We're doing our double tight end, double elite tight end, and we're done at tight end. Ken Walker, yeah, would I have maybe done Ken Walker and just had a staple of 3 studs and then hoping I got Kincaid? Sure. Yeah, I mean, they all seem like great plays, but what doesn't make sense is why is Laporta an ADP of 27 compared to McBride and Kincaid? That's my first Kincaid share this year. There's no dude. Just how healthy is he? To be clear, I'm not a Bills insider. I just follow the team. Okay, guys, some of you are YouTube members. Hit the Kincaid sticker. Come on now. Um. Oh man. All right, let's take the rookie and just hope he lands in like Buffalo or the Chiefs. JSN as my second wideout is a tough click. I'm gonna do it myself. Perfect. Good job, me. Yeah, I mean, so wideout, I'm just gonna have to take a shitload of them. It's tough. I wouldn't advise doing a lot of drafts like this, but whatever. Not a lot of people are gonna go wideout, running back, tight end, and then whatever we do. I think there's a lot of draft picks to start from and feel good, and you can build pretty similarly. Like the days of the running back boomers, unfortunately, seems over. And then it's just like, do you guys stay healthy? And how do they do? Looks like we're getting some running backs of yesteryear in the sixth. Jones, Jacobs, Henry, and Kamara. Where's everyone think? Who do you guys think will sign Derrick Henry as their RB2? Cowboys? I could see like Buffalo if he'd sign cheap. Just seems like Jerry Jones would be like, yes, we need him. I wonder if Dan Campbell would swap Montgomery for Derrick Henry. Austin Eckler, man, what do we think he has left of the tank? All right, we're gonna go Christian Watson first. We need some wideouts. Watson was definitely unlucky last year. Still spike week stud. Feels pretty good to get him as my wideout 3. All things considered, another year Jordan Love. And then these 3 guys have quarterbacks, so I feel good I'm going to get at least one quarterback I want if I want to go that way. We got some passionate takes in here. Tyler says, Kyler is locked into Arizona, starting quarterback. We'll bet $1,000 to anyone that disagrees. If I'm Arizona, I'm drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. Which would be pretty lit. Kyler, McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr. Maybe Hollywood stays, maybe he doesn't. Man, I don't think I'm gonna. I'm like never a Romeo Dobbs believer, but like it's just tough. Tough buy on him. Not that Watson is like noticeably separated from him. I'm just a little bit more of a believer in his underlying talent. Dobbs was doing some grown man things. Yeah, like individually, I do like Fields' ceiling a little bit more, but I'm gonna take Kyler for the stack with McBride. Why not? I do think Fields has a higher individual week ceiling, but that's not the only game we're playing here. So I like the team so far. Murray, JT, ETN, Puka Nakua, Brian Thomas, Christian Watson, McBride, and Kincaid. I'm stopping at 2 tight ends. Probably going at least 10 wideouts. 5 to 6 running backs, 2 to 3 quarterbacks. Let's see what the latest mock drafts got us here. Um, this is Sports Illustrated. Oh no, this is a specific team. We don't care about that. Okay. Bucky Brooks dropped this 20 minutes ago or something. So he has it going Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr. And this is the fun start, I think, that everyone is hoping for. The non-fun start is if the Patriots select Marvin Harrison Jr., because that's just not as fun, right? Like, that's not nearly as fun, him being a Patriot with who knows is their quarterback, maybe Russell Wilson, versus with Kyler, which is like pretty, all things considered, picking at the top of the draft, that's pretty exciting. Joe Alt. Some people have this being Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors, Adunze, McCarthy, Brock Bowers. We are on the clock here. I'm going to take Caleb Williams. Why not? Lets me wait a long time on my QB3 if I even go there. And I view a lot of these wideout names pretty in a similar tier. Tackle, D tackle, corner. Brian Thomas, Keon Coleman. Dude, the ads on NFL.com just gotta chill out. Cortland Sutton, I'm a non-believer in that. I don't think I'm gonna get anyone to stack with Caleb Williams. Mainly because, like, who knows how that even sorts out to be. Khalil Shakir would have been in the mix here. Do you think the need for the Bills is more for D-line or wideout? I think wideout. But you can get wideouts in the second and third round, and you can't always get that in edge. I think because Gabe Davis is leaving. No, I'm done at tight end. But I was thinking of God, I can't remember his name right now. Mooney. All right, well, we don't love all the wideouts going. Brevin Jordan? What is that? I mean, I guess that's a gamble. That cannot be his ADP. Well, Hollywood's not for sure out of there, so let's go Hollywood. Yeah, I don't think it's that serious. So I mean, if he's back with Arizona, it would be like and Marvin Harrison Jr. goes there. Then you have McBride, him, and that's pretty fun. This is why you don't star. He says I was in the bathroom and he was starred. See, I don't do that. Of course, I can't do that when I'm streaming. It's just a little too obvious. But what he did is he took Stroud, so he starred some guys so he didn't forget about them, and that's how you end up auto drafting Brevin Jordan. All things considered, I like my draft. Like for waiting on wideout, getting a first round rookie, most likely, um, a previous third round pick who had a down year, Hollywood Brown, who's like been solid for a long time, had a down year. Nearly essentially the rookie of the year at wideout in Puka Nakua. Tight end solid. Two workhorse running backs holding down the front. And then two quarterbacks to make some noise with. So yeah, it just shows you can build a lot of different ways and feel good about it, right? Like most people are building like what's been de facto good, which is just like get your wideouts and then fill in the rest. But I'm not competing for the same type of players now anymore. And they're not taking as many wideouts. Yeah, the Davis Max star method, man. It gets them. Unique combo alert, he says, about the Brevin Jordan in the 10th. Yeah, I mean, it just shows you uniqueness is it's not everything, right? I thought this was maybe a news alert because we don't know what's happening with Dalton Schultz. Shaheed, Wicks, Mike Williams, Tyler Lockett. These are guys to feel good about. Samir White. I think these guys need. I'm gonna take Xavier here. Don't know what he looks like, but yeah. I think Jahan Dotson's fine too. Um, should be the wideout too. All the running backs felt pretty similar there, so I'm just kind of letting people decide. And pretty sure this guy's a burner, so whatever. Spike week dude at worst. Yeah, it's a down year. Down year at running back. Already saying Jonathan Brooks being the first rookie running back drafted in round 10 is crazy. Not only that, but we have, I'm pretty sure Malik Neighbors' price is like, where did Dunze go? Yeah, we'll just take Singletary. Could be the running back one again, in which case I have all of that division's running backs. What's his contract? I think he's on a 2-year, 5.5. He's only on a 1 year, so I feel like the Texans will want to bring him back, though, especially with it being a down year in the draft. Where did Adunze go? We have Neighbors. Yeah, I mean, is this Malik Neighbors ADP, or did this guy just do this? Because I had thought Neighbors and Adunze were like viewed pretty similar, but Neighbors went pick 25 and Adunze went pick 54. And pretty sure Malik Neighbors ADP by itself would be the most expensive rookie wide receiver ADP we've ever seen. And he's not even the first wideout off the board for rookies. He's the second. Bit early for Neighbors, usually end of 3. Adunze goes there, yeah. Well, I mean that's an easy choice if they are similar talents. And I'm gonna be honest, like it's hard to be so into Marvin Harrison Jr. even like knowing he's gonna be a stud. Like taking him over Nico Collins just seems like patently absurd, which some people will do, or taking him over AJ Brown. However, if he is a Cardinal, I see the vision. Kendre Miller, man. This guy just buying all the olds. Just talked about your team, Kyle. You're buying all the olds. Kyle, your average age of your squad has got to be like they qualify for ARP at this point. Tyreek, Saquon, Kelsey, Godwin, Montgomery, Chubb, Lockett, Mike, Brandon Cooks. You for sure have the oldest team. And some of them are going to be good values. Man, I just refuse to believe the Patriots are going to do that. I mean, it's an interesting decision if you are the Patriots. Whatever. Let's just get another piece of the Cardinals here. Although if Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, I guess Hollywood's like out of there because Michael Wilson had a solid year. So we do have a lot of the Cardinals offense, but whatever. The AFC West is playing, which Kyler's in. Or no, sorry, the NFC West, which Kyler's in, is playing the North, the East, and the West. So this is the Bills division. This is the Chiefs division. And this is the Bears division. So we already fall, like we have the Kincaid. We have Caleb, who's going to be a Bear. Okay. I still have time to figure out running back. I like what I saw from Josh Palmer to end the season. And this feels like a solid enough core, It might not work at all. I might just like get buried at wideout, but in theory, Puka Nakua's in there every week. Brian Thomas and Xavier Worthy are giving us something as rookies. Watson and Brown are giving us, spike weeks here and there. Wilson and Palmer should have some touchdown games. But yeah, if I'm the Patriots, and I think, you need to assess the roster. If I think the roster is like real bad, what I would do is I'd probably take Marvin Harrison Jr. And I think that next year's quarterback class is good. I would take Marvin Harrison, and I'd hope to suck as much as I can. So basically, you're taking your Jamar Chase and hoping to find your Joe Burrow next year, is an example. If I don't, or if I think my team's like a little too good, or next year's rookie class sucks, or the rookie quarterback I can take at 3 is just too good, then you take quarterback and you figure out wide out later. Curtis Samuel is like the wideout that like every team is like, yeah, this would be a good signing for us. Can only play for one team though. Oh God, the Titans have a bunch of cap space. Like I put this is from Ben Vollen. The most cap space: Titans, Commanders, Bears, Texans, Patriots. And to be clear, this stuff's a little fluid because I don't know if it's counting people are under contract or not. Least Broncos, Chargers, Bills, Dolphins, Saints. And so like the Texans, I said it's going to be a major disappointment for the Texans if they're not in the Super Bowl, at least in the next 2 to 3 years. Like it's so rare to hit on as many draft picks as they did and have this amount of cap space, but you don't want teams like the Titans signing these free agents for fantasy wise. Although with Will Levis, like I think Will Levis is serviceable enough. These guys got a lot of running backs now. Whatever. We'll take Algier here. If Bijan goes down, he's like a stud in fantasy. Feels solid as my RB4. Man, Chigakonkwo, people need to give up on Chig. He is not good. Now, maybe he develops, but I'm not betting on that. Will Levis, I feel good about. Bryce Young, yeah, not so much. Don't really know who Malik Washington is yet. The combine and the actual NFL draft is when I start, really dialing in here. Man, Daniel Jones seems like a pretty good value, but what does wide receiver start to look like? Yeah, I can still figure it out. I'm going to take Daniel Jones. Just because like if he's still the starter, he's going to run for 700, 800 yards. And this gives me 4 picks to kind of just split up between running back and wideout. I didn't have to take Daniel Jones. If it was I had intended to take a different player, but yeah, just looking how there's really not many guys left. And I mean, Daniel's not guaranteed to be the starter anymore, but if he is, like him being actually the second to last starter to be drafted seems a little bit fucking insane. Like, Daniel Jones will far outscore Baker Mayfield in a healthy season. And his individual week ceiling is solid. It's actually quite high. It's like probably higher than Rodgers. It's probably higher than Stafford. Probably higher than Goff. So just scooping a little value. Zay Jones was the guy I was going to take. What's his contract situation? Filling my brain with all this useless information. Because Ridley is no guarantee to return, as we mentioned. %, Brendan Weiss and Frank Gore Jr. Nepotism is where the edge is. Ricky Pearsall, this is a name that we saw on the top 50. So good value, if that's true. I'm just a believer Gibson could still be a good running back somewhere. I like him as my RB5. He's a free agent, right? Yeah, he's a UFA. Darius Slayton, just a talented wide receiver, perpetually disrespected. Could be a giant for the stack. Does Chris Rodriguez get drafted? He does sometimes. But I've not done many drafts. This gives us 2 more picks. I'm tempted to throw them both in wide receiver just because like these 3 dudes are pretty questionable and so are these 4. But so are these guys. But really, like as long as these 2 dudes are producing, I really only need like 1 or 2 of them to give me a couple weeks here and there. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Slayton will be the wide receiver 1 again. And maybe even with Jones, it's like doesn't best suit him, but should be in the mix. He's been solid for a long time. And we know it can give you big weeks at fantasy. Even though the cover 2 era does not really bode well for Slayton in some ways. Tank Bigsby, man, I don't know if I can do it. Like it's hard to believe you can improve from just how bad he was. But a lot of the other running backs, I think, are pretty solid here. Demarcus Robinson, I like that pick. I think he re-signed with the Rams. Frank Gore Jr., this is probably just like people picking names in Brendan Rice. Do you think we should value slot guys more because of cover two? I don't know. Yes and no, because they have to be able to score touchdowns and be consistent. And then also, as the season wore on, like teams, I don't think people kept on playing cover two against Daniel Jones, for example, or the Giants in period, which led to like Slayton having some big games down the stretch because they were probably like, whatever, like we're not playing Mahomes here. Darnell Mooney's still under contract, right? No, he's a free agent, but maybe he resigned. And I mean, like he's like a talented enough guy that he could rebound. I think he's solid, but it's fragile. Like there's a lot of dart throwing at running back that happens late. Kendrick Bourne's going to resign as the Patriots, I think. Pretty solid value. I think Noah Brown's a pretty solid sign. Yeah, I mean, like Josh Palmer doesn't really separate from a lot of these guys for me. Second thought. I'm gonna take Trey Tucker here. Second year player, flash big playability. And that finishes me up with a 2-5-10 or 3-5-10-2, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So we got a Nakua, JT, ETN, McBride, Kincaid, Brian Thomas Jr., Christian Watson, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams, Marquise Brown, Xavier Worthy, Devin Singletary, Michael Wilson, Josh Palmer, Algier, Daniel Jones, Antonio Gibson, Slayton, Mooney, Trey Tucker. Yeah, there's some questions in my running back depth for sure, but that is what it is. Feel great about quarterback, feel great about tight end, feel great about my top two running backs, and feel good about my wide receiver room overall. It's going to be pretty random when these guys produce, but I have some guys who have some big individual week ceilings. So that's going to do it for me today. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to my channel if you are not. If you haven't joined my Discord, the link to join is below. If you'd like to become a YouTube member, to become part of the premium Discord channel, please do so. Help support the channel and message me on Discord if you want to get added to that channel with proof. And just hold your fingers and pray that I can still draft best ball after March 1st. I'll be back at least Thursday night with Jacob Sanderson to talk some rookies. Peace out, everybody. Have a good day.